Hey y'all, Irix Guy here, and this is why the Tudor Black Bay 58 is excellent value. Now, this particular piece, this is a 39 millimeter, so it's, I've got a 7.5-inch wrist, but it feels really nice. It feels actually just as comfortable as my Submariner. Now, the bracelet doesn't have micro adjustments, but we're going to get into that here in a minute. The reason this is excellent value, number one, you're getting a rock solid, and you can see the case here. Look at the case back. If you're familiar with Rolex, you know that the case back of this oyster style case, it's very similar. And not just from a design perspective, but also the comfort. If you're used to Submariner or GMT Master 2 or something like that on your wrist, this will immediately feel at home. The thing that makes this such a great deal is that you're getting, number one, you're getting a screw down crown. And I do want to mention just the feel of this crown is just as good as a Rolex, in my opinion. The bezel, it's not a 120 click bezel. It's a 60 click. So to get from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock, it's 60 instead of 120 like you get with a Submariner, with a current reference Submariner. With that being said, the bezel action is super smooth. It's got a good sound to it. When you hold this in your hand, there is no feeling of compromise. I don't feel like I bought, it's like, man, I should have saved up and gotten a Rolex. I don't have that feeling when I put this in my hand. The other thing is, look at the sapphire. See the domed sapphire crystal, how it sticks up? That gives it a more vintage type look. So, this is a timepiece you can wear that, maybe you're looking for an older style, not just older, but an older wristwatch. And maybe you said, well, I like the design, this, that, and the other, but you didn't want to potentially assume the maintenance cost. Ultimately, if you buy something that's older, it's probably been banged up, and it's probably got, a lot of maintenance that needs to be performed. The value of this Black Bay 58 blue, and it's not just the blue, you could go with the black one. The value of this is that you're getting something that looks, from a design perspective, because of the bracelet with its fake rivets, its faux rivets, because of the just the size of the case, 39 millimeters, versus something that's, most of your sports watches now are 40 to 44 millimeters or so. So this is on the smaller side. The lugs are thinner. It's got an aluminum, or you might say aluminium bezel instead of ceramic. So to look at this timepiece, you feel like you're looking at something that was made many years ago. But that's where everything's so cool. That's why everything's so cool about this, because what you're actually getting is a timepiece that has a 72-hour power reserve. You're getting modern technology in a case that, looks as if it was, manufactured many years ago. And if you're like me, you wear this in hot tubs and swimming pools and oceans. You bang it up, just like I did on my desk. You wear it like it's meant to be worn, in my opinion. This is going to age very nicely because it has an aluminum bezel. That patina, that it will develop is going to look really good. Also worth mentioning, the luminescence on the markers and the hands, very nice. Just as, in my opinion, just as good as a Rolex. Obviously, you see it at night, the shape of the hand, because this has snowflake hands, it's going to have a different shape at night than the Submariner. That's how I know when I look at my watch when I go to sleep, am I wearing the Submariner or am I wearing the Tudor Black Bay 58? Because, I can see that snowflake hour hand, and it's an easy way to tell that in the dark. You can see the markers here. They've got elevation to them. They look really good. Actually, one of my viewers said, oh, that's rhodium. So I think these are rhodium markers and rhodium hands, or rhodium plated rather. So they look really nice. Obviously with the, the Submariner, you're getting white gold, but this looks really nice, very well executed. Unless you get a microscope, you're not going to notice anything that would offend you. There is a difference between Tudor and Rolex, and that comes to, when you're dealing with finishing. I mean, if you got a microscope and really zoomed in here, you could see some subtle quality differences, in the finishings of the hands and the markers. But your average Joe wearing this on your wrist, or average Jane wearing it on your wrist, you're not going to tell the difference. It looks great. It feels great. And again, the crown action is very good. Screw down crown. The case feels really nice. The clasp, although it doesn't have micro adjustments, the clasp is very smooth. And you can adjust. See, I got these little adjustments here on the clasp. You can adjust that, and you can also take out links. But there's no glide lock style clasp like you get on the current reference Submariners. And actually, Tudor did release, at the time of filming this video, Tudor did release a Black Bay 58, but it's only a boutique edition. But it's got a glide lock type mechanism on the clasp. So, if that's something that they add to future Black Bay 58s, it would make this is great value. And I mean, that would even add to the value of choosing a Tudor over, say, a Rolex or some other brands out there. I mean, this is a very comfortable, wear pretty much anywhere because of the water resistance and the screw down crown piece that will likely appreciate in value. And again, it's not about, when you buy a watch, you shouldn't be like, well, is it something that's that may have investment potential. That's kind of, in my opinion, the wrong way to look at it. If something happens to have investment potential that you're interested in, that could be an additional pro for going with that piece. I think this, in the future, I think it definitely could, and again, no guarantees, but may likely appreciate in value just because it is a great design. The one thing that's always going to haunt Tudor, and this may be a reason you haven't considered Tudor, the one thing that's always going to haunt Tudor is that Tudor is not Rolex. Even though Hans Willdorf, the guy that invented Rolex, he's like, and again, I don't want to misquote him, but it was basically he wants to create a more attainable wristwatch, and that's why he created Tudor. A lot of people misconstrue that and say, oh, it's the poor man's Rolex, or, I couldn't, save up for Rolex, so I bought the Tudor instead. This is by no means a compromise. But, again, if you're shopping and you don't have a Rolex, then you're probably going to be like, definitely get the Rolex first. That's my best advice. Always get that first. But if you've already done the Rolex thing and you're like, man, I'm cool now, I've done that, so now what do I need to do? Tudor is awesome. And you'll probably find, if you're like me, you'll probably find that you wear your Tudors more than you wear your Rolei. I mean, that may just be the situation. These are exceptional pieces. And they're more what, in my opinion, Rolex used to be in the past versus the present. Rolex recently, they've, in my opinion, again, we're all different financial status levels or whatever, but, in the past, Rolex was kind of a more attainable piece. Now you go to an authorized dealer, they don't have any in stock. And if they do, it's just a few undesirable references. But Tudor is easier to obtain. Tudor is by no means a compromise. Again, you put this under a microscope and, you really nitpick, you're going to find subtle differences that your average person on the street or even yourself probably wouldn't notice unless you've owned and worn Rolex watches for many years. You probably wouldn't even notice the differences. But It's a great piece. It's great value, in my opinion, on today's market. Again, value opinion is subjective. It's a matter of, what your interests are. If you're interested in wristwatch collecting, this today, at the time of posting this video, is a great deal, in my opinion. But tell me what you think within the comment section below. Do you like Tudor? What's your favorite Tudor reference? Do you hate Tudor? Comment below, tell me what you think, and be sure to subscribe. And when you do, ring that bell icon, and that'll notify you whenever I post another video. And be sure to check out my timepieces for tomorrow video playlist. I've got a lot of videos there now, and a lot more coming soon, and a lot of live shows. So, let's talk about wristwatches, man. And, let's just keep everything honest and share the unfiltered truth. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Again, this is the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue 39mm. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.